Ozempic, I have to say, I know I'm going to get the backlash, is an incredible tool.
Find out which of your favorite housewives have publicly admitted to or denied using Ozempic.
The before and after photos coming out of Hollywood right now are genuinely shocking. You have seen the transformations, you have heard the denials, but nobody has ever done this. We went through every Real Housewife across every franchise, every admission, every denial caught on camera, every castmate calling out her own friend, and lined up the 21 most dramatic cases that sparked the most intense conversations among fans, experts, and fellow housewives. If someone is using these treatments for a genuine health reason, that is their business. What we are here to talk about are the reunions, the before and afters that made the internet lose its mind. Number 1 on this list made me genuinely gasp.
Now that I've lost the weight, I want to experience more. I missed out on so much because I was so worried.
We have 21 stories. Let us get into it. If you are love deep dives like this, subscribe real quick. It takes 2 seconds, and you will not miss what is coming next. Heather Dubrow. We are starting strong because this one just happened. In March 2026, Heather Dubrow from Real Housewives of Orange County posted a photo carousel in a gold mini dress promoting her spring looks. And within minutes, the comments turned into a wellness check. Fans were writing things like, "Those arms? Heather, what have you done to yourself? Stop losing weight. You are beautiful." People were genuinely worried about her. Now, Heather has never admitted to using any weight loss medication.
I want to say something about Ozempic. There's a lot of Ozempic shaming going on, and I don't like it.
She has actually been one of the loudest voices defending people who do, telling us weekly she is over the whole shaming thing and comparing the reaction to how people used to freak out about Botox.
This whole Ozempic shaming thing, and I'm also over people asking, are you on Ozempic?
Sure, yeah.
Would you ask someone, are you on a beta blocker?
No.
Her husband, Dr. Terry Dubrow, literally called Ozempic and Mounjaro better than Botox.
It's like the new Botox, Ozempic. I love it.
Silly.
It's so good.
But here's the thing. While she defends this publicly, she denies using them herself. And the photos from 2026 tell a very different story than the Heather fans remember from even 2 seasons ago. The change was dramatic enough that fans could not stop talking about it. And honestly, this is just the beginning. Gina Kirschenheiter. This one is interesting because Gina Kirschenheiter from Real Housewives of Orange County actually tried to shut the conversation down in the most dramatic way possible. She filmed herself stepping onto a scale on TikTok, showing the number, and telling people to go kick rocks. At 5'8", 155, she said if she had dramatically changed her diet, she would be a size 2, and she is clearly not.
Okay, I am 5'8". I weigh 155 pounds. I am not on a weight loss drug, and it's not my fault that you want to try and make something that's not there, my friend.
She credits quitting alcohol and staying busy with her real estate career. But when she showed up at BravoCon, looking noticeably different from even a year before, fans flooded her comments. Please do not lose any more weight. What have you had done? Some even joked that her head looked too big for her body now. The reason people will not let this go is because her best friend on the show, Emily Simpson, already admitted to using Ozempic as a kickstart. And in this world, when your closest friend confirms it, people assume you had access to the same thing. Gina has never budged on her denial, but the visual shift is undeniable. Karen Huger. Now this one played out on camera, and it was genuinely wild. Karen Huger, the Grand Dame of Potomac, had her castmates worried. Giselle Bryant pulled her aside, saying she had been concerned about Karen, thinking the visible changes were from the stress of her legal situation. And then another castmate just flat out said it. She is on the medication. Karen's response was fascinating. She confirmed she is taking semaglutide, but then immediately insisted it is not the brand everyone thinks it is. Her castmate Kayarna corrected her on camera, explaining that semaglutide is literally the active ingredient in Ozempic. Karen then pivoted to calling it preventative care for her family history of diabetes. The whole exchange became one of the most quoted moments of the Potomac season, and it perfectly captured the exact kind of word games that have become standard across the franchise. Lisa Barlow. Okay, this is where Salt Lake City enters the chat. Lisa Barlow built her entire persona on being the woman who crushes Taco Bell and Diet Coke and somehow stays naturally thin.
I drink Diet Coke at the airport. I have Diet Coke on the airplane.
That was her whole brand. She was the metabolic unicorn of the franchise. So when she showed up for season 7 looking noticeably sharper in the face, with her signature fullness just gone, fans were genuinely confused. Her features looked angular, clinical, not natural. Now Lisa completely denies doing anything major. She claims it is all just CO2 laser treatments. But when experts pointed out that aggressive lasers, combined with rapid fat loss, create what they call a shrink-wrapped effect on the skin. The internet connected the dots immediately. The frustrating part for viewers, Lisa was the one housewife who seemed totally immune to all this pressure. Seeing her transform felt like the last domino falling. But hold on, because the next few entries are where this gets really emotional. And number 14 is the one that made doctors actually speak out publicly. Bronwyn Wyndham Burke. Bronwyn was refreshingly blunt about the whole thing. After moving to Nashville and gaining about 20 pounds on biscuits and fried chicken, her words, not mine. She just came out and said it.
You know the food is different.
It changes you right away.
You know there's Loveless Cafe and biscuits and fried chicken.
She told Us Weekly she is on Ozempic. She needed help, and her wife is now struggling because Bronwyn stopped cooking since the medication completely changed her relationship with food. The honesty was almost funny, but what fans noticed in her recent photos is that her face now looks etched. She had previously removed her lip fillers and also had a facelift. So when you combine surgery with rapid fat loss, you get something that reads as uncanny. One person online described it as looking 30 from far away but completely different up close. Bronwyn has been quiet about the visual side effects, but her case shows how combining multiple approaches at once can push results further than anyone intended. Marlo Hampton. Marlo Hampton from Atlanta gave one of the most raw, unfiltered interviews about this whole thing. On Carlos King's podcast, she admitted she was on Mounjaro for 6 months, dropped 30 pounds, and got completely hooked on the results. Sample sizes, designers sending her clothes, everyone telling her she looked amazing. Her exact words were, "I was addicted to it," but then her body started fighting back. She described publicly having breakouts, her cycle getting irregular, and dealing with what she called weeks of serious digestive discomfort that she had completely ignored. She stopped the medication and immediately regained 10 pounds. The part that stuck with me is how she described the emotional cycle. She loved how she looked, hated how she felt, and is now trying to figure out how to maintain results without the thing that gave them to her. That tension is something a lot of women are dealing with privately right now. Emily Simpson. Emily became a lightning rod for the whole debate because she did something almost nobody else was willing to do.
They constantly say Ozempic, Ozempic. And it's like, yes, I did use that.
She admitted to using Ozempic as a kickstart.
So I went to the doctor, I did a full blood panel. My cholesterol was high, I have 0 testosterone, I was pre-diabetic.
Then also admitted to getting liposuction on her arms. And on top of all that, she works out 7 days a week at 6 in the morning. She was completely transparent, and she still got destroyed online. Fans accused her of cheating. Trolls told her the results were not real. She went on Good Morning America to talk about the shaming she experienced and said the part that hurts most is when people use one word to dismiss years of work. Giselle Bryant from Potomac actually gave her a rare compliment, saying Emily looks beautiful and her journey worked out well. Then added, "I cannot say the same for the rest of these ladies." That line became one of the most quoted moments of the year. Jennifer Fessler.
Jennifer Fessler, you look different than you looked on the show.
Stop. This is the one that should have been a wake-up call for everyone. Jennifer Fessler from New Jersey was on semaglutide for over a year and lost about 22 pounds. And then she ended up in the hospital for a serious digestive blockage that she herself publicly connected to the medication. In her own words on her podcast, she described drinking no water, skipping vegetables, just pizza and bagels, and still losing weight. So she did not think anything was wrong. When asked if she was worried going forward, what she said gave me chills. She said that when it comes to how she looks, her normal caution just goes completely out the window. And she kept taking it after the hospitalization. She then got a facelift, a neck lift, and a nose job. On camera, she said, "I do not even recognize myself." Andy Cohen told her the transformation into the Housewives universe was now complete. She described in her own words feeling completely unrecognizable in the mirror after the rapid changes, and the physical toll of losing that much weight that fast. That level of honesty about the real cost of all of this is rare, and it matters. Caroline Stanbury. Caroline Stanbury from Real Housewives of Dubai did something almost unheard of in this franchise. She told the complete truth with 0 filter and somehow made it more chaotic than any denial ever could. She gained 18 pounds during IVF treatments.
I did get really fat. I put on 18 pounds.
18 pounds, wow.
Yeah, on my body.
And then openly admitted she used Mounjaro to take it off. She called it an incredible tool and said after 40, weight just does not drop the way it used to.
At 45, it becomes very, very hard to lose weight. Incredible tool.
She also described publicly, on her own podcast, a very uncomfortable physical reaction interaction at a bar in West Hollywood after just half a glass of wine while on the medication, and joked that if you have not experienced something like that, you have not truly lived. Her husband was against the medication. He was also against the deep plane facelift she got weeks later. She documented all of it on camera. The transparency was almost aggressive. Her attitude was basically, yes, I used it. Yes, I did procedures. Yes, I work out 3 times a day.
You know, I'm not lazy. I'm not lying at home doing nothing. I go to the gym. I have a trainer. I walk all the time.
It is all on camera. Deal with it. And honestly, in a franchise full of deflection, that energy stood out. Kandi Burruss. This one breaks the pattern completely, and that is exactly why it matters. Kandi Burruss from Atlanta tried Ozempic, and it did absolutely nothing. Her appetite did not change, her weight did not move. She described eating appetizers, a full meal, and dessert like nothing had changed. Her doctor was genuinely confused. Kandi said the hardest part was watching it work for everyone around her while she felt like a failure. She described feeling depressed. And honestly, that emotional honesty hit harder than any before and after photo could, because she exposed the part nobody talks about. These medications do not work the same for everybody. And when you are told this is the solution and it does not deliver, the psychological toll is real. Kandi quietly moved on and found her own path. But her story is a reminder that biology does not care about brand names. Margaret Josephs, a Margaret from New Jersey, admitted she started using the medication to deal with menopause weight gain and said it shut off the food noise in her brain. She lost over 20 pounds and initially tried to frame it as peptide therapy and hormones, but eventually she just came out with it. The visual transformation was significant enough that fans at the People's Choice Awards said she and Dolores looked too thin. One comment that circulated widely called them both unrecognizable. But the really telling moment came in early 2026, when Margaret underwent a nose job, fat transfer, and stem cell therapy, specifically to restore volume in her face that she had lost from the weight change. She is literally one of the first housewives publicly linked to getting corrective procedures to fix the facial effects of Ozempic. She said her nose tip started drooping, and she looked crazy in photos. That is the cycle playing out in real time. Lose the weight, lose the fullness, then pay to put it back. Heather Gay. This is the one that genuinely changed the conversation. Heather Gay from Salt Lake City was the body positivity queen. She built her brand, her book Bad Mormon, her entire identity on loving yourself at any size. And then she lost nearly 30 pounds and showed up to the season 5 premiere and shouted, "Ozempic, baby." The honesty was refreshing. But what she said after is what made me stop scrolling. She told ABC News that body positivity was all a big lie.
It's better to not be overweight.
She said when she lost the weight, she was suddenly valued by her castmates and the public in a way she never had been before. And that realization made her genuinely sad. She described not wanting to show up at another party and watch all her friends be 20 pounds smaller while she stayed the same.
And I also have been freaking burned by women on this show and friends.
The pressure broke her. And then she said the line I cannot stop thinking about. She said, "I had more confidence and was braver when I was heavier than I am now." Think about that. She got the praise, she got the magazine covers and the compliments and the invitations. And she is telling us she felt stronger before any of it. Her cosmetic history is extensive too. 2 nose jobs, eyelid work, a mommy makeover, veneers, ongoing treatments at her own beauty clinic. She estimates around $200,000 total. Heather did not just go too far physically. She cracked open the emotional truth behind why all of these women are doing this. Teresa Giudice. Teresa has never confirmed or denied anything. Full stop. But fans have been relentless. When she posted photos from a Barbie-themed party in a pink jumpsuit, comments flooded in calling her an advertisement for Ozempic. One person wrote, "Maybe she is born with it. Maybe it is Mounjaro." At BravoCon, she wore a beaded jumpsuit and fans pointed out her visible frame underneath. Comments ranged from, "She looks so much older now," to "Please stop whatever you are doing." She and Jennifer Aydin were dubbed the Ozempic twins by fans after vacation photos went viral. Teresa has had confirmed procedures, including a nose job and lip filler that she later dissolved. Combined with the rumored weight change, the total effect left fans struggling to recognize her, and her complete refusal to address it only makes the speculation louder. Tamra Judge. Tamra came out swinging against the accusations. After she was hospitalized for a digestive issue, fans immediately connected it to the Ozempic trend. Tamra was furious. She called the comments disgusting. She reminded people she has had multiple intestinal surgeries over 12 years, and that her family has a history of serious intestinal problems. Tamra credits her body to Cut Fitness, her own gym, where she trains 2 to 3 hours daily. She has competed in bodybuilding. Her body fat has been documented at 14%, and yet the internet will not let it go. On Reddit, someone wrote, "She has the face that everyone who loses weight fast gets, and her personality changed too. Whether she used anything or not, Tamara became the case study for what happens when someone already lean starts looking dramatically different in their 50s. The conversation around her is less about proof and more about pattern recognition. Jennifer Aiden from New Jersey delivered one of the most iconic moments in the history of Watch What Happens Live. When Andy Cohen asked about her weight loss, she shouted, "I am not on Ozempic."
I am not on Ozempic.
For anyone saying my head is too big for my body, it is just my hair.
Everybody who's yelling at me, saying that my head is too big for my body, it's just my hair.
Then she paused and admitted she is on Mounjaro, a different brand, same class of drug. She played it as a technicality, and honestly, the delivery was hilarious. She said she loves being this weight and has so much energy.
Seeing yourself on camera, in addition with the 10 pounds that it adds. And when I saw myself last season, I just felt like I looked very...
But fans had already been calling her out for months. Her and Teresa were dubbed the Ozempic twins after Miami vacation photos went viral. One comment said, "Did you guys have a scavenger hunt for prescription pens?" Her husband is a board-certified plastic surgeon who has performed multiple procedures on her. The combined effect of Mounjaro plus surgery created something fans described as uncanny. The fullness in her face was just gone. Dolores Catania. Dolores was the first housewife to fully break the seal on camera. She told Andy Cohen, "I was not going to show up at the reunion looking bigger than anyone else, so I got on the bandwagon." And then she dropped the real bomb. When Andy asked which housewife was not using these medications, Dolores looked at him and said, "Not one." 2 words. And every denial across every franchise suddenly had a crack in it. Every hormone excuse. Every "I just started walking more." Every "it is just my hair." Dolores blew the whole thing open with 2 words and a shrug. She did not do it with cruelty. She did it with the casualness of someone who is done pretending. She started at 157, went down to 129. Then her body fought back. After a heart procedure forced her off Mounjaro, she described gaining 20 pounds in a single month.
"I'm having a really hard time right now. My Mounjaro stopped working. I gained 20 pounds.
She tried to restart, and the nausea came back hard. She partnered with a ginger supplement brand just to manage the side effects. She sought therapy for the emotional toll of the weight changes, and she told E! News, "What are the long-term consequences of this when everyone is done?" That question is still sitting in the air unanswered. Shannon Beador. Shannon's weight has been the most tracked storyline in the Real Housewives of Orange County history. She gained 40 pounds on camera, lost it, gained it back during the pandemic, lost it again after a breakup. Then after her highly publicized legal situation, she appeared at BravoCon looking dramatically different. When someone commented on an Instagram photo saying it is definitely Ozempic, Shannon replied with 1 word, "Nope." That is all she gave. Sources close to her said the change came from cutting alcohol and dealing with stress. But fans who have watched her for years noticed something specific. It was not just weight loss. Her face looked different in a way that felt faster than lifestyle changes alone. Shannon has her own supplement brand and credits her products with helping balance her hormones, but the silence around the real details is louder than any explanation she has offered.
"I've lost 25 pounds.
And honestly, after everything Shannon has been through publicly, the fact that her body is still the main conversation says everything about the pressure these women face. Erica Jane. Erica Jane showed up to Watch What Happens Live, and Andy Cohen told her she looked like a whisper of herself. Let that phrase sit for a second. Erica's explanation was hormones and menopause.
I did come down in weight, and I did it hormonally.
Andy pushed gently. Not Ozempic? She said no, just hormones. And then the internet did what it does. Fans pointed out the basic biology, that menopause typically causes weight gain, not rapid loss. One person wrote, "Menopause hit different for Erica," which became a running joke across platforms. Her castmate Sutton Straka gave the most perfectly shady response of the year, saying, "I have been through menopause, but I still do not look like that, but okay."
You know, I've been through the menopause, but I still don't look like that.
Dorrit Kemsley added in a confessional, "Is hormones spelled like the name of a certain medication? I do not know." Erica's denial became more famous than any admission could have been. The fiercer she pushed back, the louder the speculation got, and her appearance continued to change throughout the season, making the original explanation harder and harder to accept. Kyle Richards. No single housewife has generated more discussion about this topic than Kyle Richards. She went from 132 to 117. She has denied everything aggressively, across every platform, multiple times.
I do not like when anybody talks about people's looks or their, financial situations.
She credits eliminating alcohol, sugar, and carbs, plus working out 2 hours daily.
Well, it was strange for me because, I'm not an alcoholic and I gave up for fitness and health reasons.
She runs 4 to 5 miles, does heavyweight training, wakes up at 5 in the morning, and fans still do not believe her. One of the most shared comments said, "The reason people want the truth is so they can stop feeling deceived. Denying the unlimited money and access to trainers and chefs and treatments makes regular people feel like failures when cutting carbs does not give them the same results." Reza Farahàn publicly called her out. Melissa Gorga admitted she assumed Kyle was on it. Lisa Vanderpump gave a loaded non-answer. And then Kyle's own daughter, Sophia, posted a TikTok in 2025, showing clumps of hair loss after taking Mounjaro for 4 months.
I started Mounjaro about 4 months ago. It's a dramatic hair loss situation.
The internet connected those dots immediately. Kyle remains firm, but the visual evidence, the family connection, and the intensity of the pushback have made her the center of this entire conversation. Dorrit Kemsley has always been the fashion queen of Beverly Hills, designer everything, every scene. But during season 15, the conversation stopped being about what she was wearing and became about the person inside it. Fans described her as fading. Her frame looked dramatically different from even one season before. Comments on Instagram said things like, "Where's the old Dorrit? And what happened to your face?" During the reunion filming, rumors circulated that her outfits had to be adjusted because they no longer fit. Now Dorrit has been through a lot. A traumatic home invasion that left lasting emotional effects, a public separation from her husband, early hormonal changes she has spoken about openly, so the reasons behind the shift could be deeply personal, not pharmaceutical at all. But what made her case hit so hard is the visual. The Dorrit who used to command every room now looked like someone carrying something heavy, and the audience could feel it. The fan reaction was not cruelty, it was worry. And that worry, quiet and constant in every comment section, has not gone away. Jill Zarin, and number one is the transformation that left people literally unable to identify who they were looking at. Jill Zarin, OG of Real Housewives of New York, posted a photo from a private jet in January 2026. And the comments were not about the jet, they were about her face. One person wrote, "I had no idea who this was at first glance." Another said, "How much is too much?" People on X said they stared at the image for minutes trying to figure out if it was real or AI generated. Jill has been open about getting a lower facelift, chin implant, and fat transfer.
I am bravely sharing that I had a lower facelift and a couple of other minor.
She even said honesty is important for people on reality television. But what fans kept pointing out is that the combination of surgery, weight loss, and years of fillers created something that no longer looks like the Jill they watched for 4 seasons on Bravo. One viral comment said, "Between the weight loss and the procedures, I have to ask, who are you?" And that question sits at the heart of this entire list. Because when someone changes so much that their own audience cannot recognize them, we are not talking about self-improvement anymore. We are talking about something else entirely. And Jill's transformation, more than anyone else on this list, is the one that made people stop and genuinely ask, where does it end? Here is what this whole thing actually reveals. These medications were made for people who genuinely need them. When they get repurposed as beauty tools by people with entire teams monitoring them, 2 things happen. The people who actually need them face shortages, and the rest of us absorb a standard that was never real. What bothered me most making this video was not the transformations. It was the gap between what these women say publicly and what everyone can clearly see. That gap is where regular people get hurt, sitting at home at 2 in the morning, scrolling through someone's Instagram, wondering why they cannot get those results no matter how hard they try. The women on this list face enormous pressure. That is real. I am not here to judge a single one of them, but the honesty matters. Because when you package a pharmaceutical result as discipline, you are not inspiring anyone. You are making them feel broken. Your body is not a problem to solve. And recognizing that the standard being sold to you is not achievable through willpower alone, that is not giving up. That is just choosing reality. If this gave you a new way of seeing what is really happening behind those reunion dresses, drop a comment telling me which story hit you the hardest, and subscribe so you do not miss the next one.